Chapter 15, Dream of the Red Chamber 14. When the noble family's inspection gradually dissipated, the crown prince's marriage was once again brought up on the conference agenda. This time, the emperor did not drag it out like a year ago. He very happily ordered, appointing the eldest daughter of the cabinet minister Lin Ruhai as the crown princess. The whole court was surprised. Someone immediately thought carefully why the emperor had been delaying the crown prince's engagement for the past year, waiting for the Lin family's daughter to reach marriageable age. Too absurd, it violated the dynasty's system. Lin Ruhai, a high-ranking cabinet minister, how could he send his daughter into the crown prince's palace? She was still the crown princess, the future empress. Damn it. In a blink of an eye, the Lin family was at the forefront of the storm. Many people suspected that Lin Ruhai had intentions. Memorials accusing him were piled up on the emperor's desk. Even the emperor was criticized endlessly by his ministers. Every day in court, they would open their mouth and mention this matter as being against the rules. After Dayu found out, she ran to admit her mistake, feeling very guilty for being willful and causing such great trouble for her parents. Although this matter really gives people a headache, but as parents, they only know how to protect their children from the wind and rain. How can they blame them for this? Shielding a child from the wind and rain is something all parents are most willing to do. No matter how big the storm is, we are all happy to endure it. However, you also need to learn a lesson from it. Your path in the future, your father and I will definitely be out of reach and couldn't be helpful. Every step you take, thousands of people are watching you. Therefore, every step you take, you must consider 3 steps ahead and behind. This is very tiring. However, it is the path you choose. Dayu seemed to have an epiphany, and nodded in agreement. At night, they talked about this matter. The two of them were silent for a long time. Seeing their daughter grow up so quickly, as parents, their hearts were truly complicated. In the end, he hugged Nanhua tightly and let out a sigh. The turmoil in the imperial court had been unsettled for a while, but the emperor was not a weak person. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the house search army that had not yet been disbanded was sent out several more times. Those ministers instantly became as quiet as chickens. Thinking back to Lin Ruhai, his in-laws were all investigated, and he was even highly regarded by the emperor, and his daughter became the crown princess. It can be seen how much he was loved by the emperor. They had used up all their words, and had not yet achieved anything, yet their homes were investigated and they were dismissed from office. It was like an egg touching a rock. Why did they have to do this? So, just like that, Dayu's marriage was set. Because the crown princess's status was special, after the marriage was set, she would need to undergo some adaptation training, so the wedding date was set for 2 years later, which was also after Dayu's 17th birthday. Regarding this, the Lin family is very satisfied. At Dayu's beginning of heavy royal etiquette learning, Baoyu finally got married. The Lin family naturally came forward to congratulate. Bao Chai was steady and generous. No matter what the situation was, she could always remain calm and unmoved. This kind of cultivation was very suitable for an official's wife to socialize with. Therefore, when everyone saw the new bride, they all felt that Wang Shi's persistence was not without reason. Bao Chai was indeed very outstanding. Unfortunately, what Bao Chai lacked the most was someone to help her display her talent, and Baoyu was definitely not that person. Without Lin's sister, Baoyu would not be absent-minded, but he clearly had no feelings for this wife. His ambition was to be a rich and idle person. Bao Chai's scheming methods, except for using them to fight for favor in the backyard, were useless. Not long after Bao Chai entered the family, Wang Shi made her manage the family, making the eldest sister-in-law Li Huan, like a transparent person, quietly raising her son alone, only hoping that he could soon become outstanding, and save her from the sea of suffering. Bao Chai managed the family, looking like she was deeply trusted and very good-natured, but in reality, she was swallowing bitter water. Her father-in-law did not do any work, and her mother-in-law did not manage the family business, so the second family was practically penniless. Just like Wang Shifeng in her previous life, if she wanted to maintain a normal life, she could only use her own dowry. But that year, after the incident with concubine Zhao, she left behind a son and a daughter. Tam Chun had reached the age of marriage. Jia Huan was sneaky and had no skills at all. They also wanted to get married in a few years, and add to the population. She didn't know how much money she needed. Everyone was fighting over each other, not thinking that the accounting department didn't have any money. All the inside and outside words were that the head of the family was mistreating them. Bao Chai was said to be truly the only wrong person. Not to mention, she was busy with this family business, but her husband was living freely with the maid, and Bao Chai could endure it, so her dissatisfaction was growing. The second family's life can be said to be chaotic, but the first family has many children and grandchildren and was good. Jia Shi, after Lu Shi's critical illness, suddenly seemed to have changed into a different person. He did not take any new concubines, nor did he love his old concubine. Other than fondling his antiques and fan with calligraphy all day long, he would return to the main room to rest. Or he would hug a little grandson, a little granddaughter, and wait for the children in his two daughters-in-law's wombs. Thinking of what name to use, he would just be like the old duke's retirement days back then. Lu Shi had been worried all her life, finally protecting her family, and finally giving in to her heart, handing over all the household affairs to her eldest daughter-in-law, raising her grandchildren, and going to visit Nan Hoa, living a leisurely life. As for Jia Shi, she had also left him alone. She had already finished messing around in her youth, and when she was old, as long as he didn't cause her son any more trouble, she didn't want to react. Just like that, good or bad, 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. It is worth mentioning that the Lin family's only son, Lin Duk, returned to the imperial examinations a year ago and won the top prize at the young age of 14, becoming a story that everyone praised. Many people were waiting to see his next imperial examination results. One day, Dayu's 17th birthday was over. Her family couldn't bear to leave her, and the crown prince waited for her for a long time. Finally, the wedding day arrived. The crown prince's wedding is a major event of national importance. The entire capital is a deep red, decorated with lanterns and flowers like a New Year's Eve. Lin Ruhai and Nan Hoa treated the two children equally, almost giving half of their assets to Dayu as a dowry, 10 li of red makeup. When hearing the details of the dowry, everyone was shocked, feeling that the Lin family was crazy. The daughter was entering the palace. What was the difference between giving so much dowry and submitting it to the imperial court? Dayu became the bride, so beautiful that it made people suffocate. Her every smile truly made the whole room shine. When they came in to see the bride, the young ladies were all stunned for a moment before reacting, then they continuously exclaimed in surprise, teasing each other, "No wonder the crown prince has waited for so many years. Tonight seeing the bride, I'm afraid he will also become a goose-headed fool." Dayu's cheeks turned red. She relied on Nan Hoa's hand and couldn't let go. Nan Hoa couldn't let it go either, her eyes were already wet. The moment the new bride was put on the palanquin, everyone in the Lin family shed tears. The always dignified and solemn Lin Ruhai on the outside could not control himself and cried until his tears flowed freely in front of others. Although they had been corresponding for nearly 10 years, the crown prince, except for occasionally catching a glimpse of her at the empress residence, had almost never seen Dayu. Especially in the past few years, and had not even seen her once. The moment the veil was removed, his entire body was stunned. Indeed, as everyone said, he had become a goose-headed fool. Dayu could not help but laugh. The crown prince finally regained his senses, but was stunned again. Dayu's beauty is beauty that radiates from the bones. Every expression, every smile, anger and happiness all have hidden emotions. Whether happy or sad, they all have her unique subtlety. To put it in a vulgar way, the crown prince initially liked her soul, but now his heart is captivated by her appearance. From then on, the crown prince and his wife were very affectionate. The emperor and empress are very good parents-in-law. She almost doesn't need to interfere in the affairs of the crown prince palace. Lin Ruhai gives and takes, wholeheartedly helping the emperor to handle the country, going to the world to eliminate evil, almost using up all her mental energy. 2 years later, Lin Duk passed the imperial examinations, became a bachelor and a doctor, and went straight to the imperial examinations. It is not known whether the emperor wanted both father and son to be famous as Tam Hoa, so he appointed Lin Duc as Tam Hoa. Lin Duc rode his horse to the streets and received countless fragrant bags. The Lin family became everyone's envied family. The Lin family had one daughter and one son. The daughter was the crown princess. For 2 years without a son the emperor and empress did not talk, husband and wife love. The 17-year-old son was a Tam Hoa, unprecedented. The student was better than the teacher, the son was better than the father. Nan Hoa also took advantage of this excitement to discuss Lin Duc's marriage. The bride was the youngest daughter of the Minister of Public Works, Thursday Jia, Dayu's good friend before she got married, and could be considered childhood sweethearts with Lin Duc. After all, when they were young, Dayu always brought her younger brother along when playing with her friends. Also not sure if the happy event is one team formation after another, Lin Duc just decided to get married. The Crown Prince Palace immediately sent good news, Dayu is pregnant. The emperor and empress bestowed rewards, like water flowing into the Crown Prince Palace. In recent years, the Crown Prince and Dayu have been under extraordinary pressure. 2 princes each had several sons, and the Crown Prince has been married for 2 years, but still has no sons or daughters. Not sure if the emperor and empress have suffered too much back then, but in fact, they have never blamed the young couple. However, the entire court's civil and military officials are all staring at Dayu's belly, and the psychological burden cannot be said to be not large. 8 months later, Dayu safely gave birth to a son. The emperor was very pleased. Nan Hoa and Lin Ruhai also let out a long sigh of relief. They went to the Crown Prince Palace to visit their grandson. The baby grew up very sturdy. It could be seen that Dayu had suffered a lot at that time. Nan Hoa went inside to see her daughter. Dayu had been married for 2 years, still carrying a bit of a young girl's charm. It could be seen that her life had not been bad. Although she had just given birth and was very haggard, her spirit was very good. Seeing Nan Hoa coming, her eyes lit up. She couldn't help but act spoiled towards her mother. Seeing this, Nan Hoa was truly completely relieved. Not long after the full moon of the little prince, the Lin family held Lin Duc's marriage. The crown princess's younger brother got married. The Lin family was truly filled with people. The crown prince himself came to congratulate. At this time, the Lin family, to say it was at the peak of glory, would not be an exaggeration. But in front of everyone, people either admired or were jealous, either admired or said mean things, but no one could catch up with the Lin family. Lin Ruhai suddenly retired from office. Lin Ruhai was an important official, without any illness or pain, but suddenly wanted to resign. The emperor naturally did not agree. But Lin Ruhai was very determined. For the country, the imperial court had already entered a certain phase. Several imperial examinations had been held, and a large number of talented people had taken over. His existence might or might not exist, and retiring at the peak of his career was the right thing to do. For his family, the Lin family had a successor. Lin Duc had entered the officialdom, and Dayu, as the crown princess, had also given birth to descendants. His existence was like a big tree catching the wind. When he retired, everyone would still have feelings for him, and it's also good for his children.